Hi, on today's video,
we're going to show you probably one of the coolest features built into the new LC-4.800 amplifier. So stay tuned. So about a year ago, AudioControls came out with amplifiers.
Yeah.
And so they came out with the monoblocks, and this year they're coming out with the 4 channels. Now we just did an unboxing of the 4.800, and you're going to want to go back and check that out. One of the cool features that's built into this amplifier is something that we desperately needed in the industry, because more and more cars have these giant screens in the dash, or they have amplifiers, and we're just not putting as many aftermarket radios in as we like. So what this does is it has high-level input, which isn't the cool feature, but what it has 6-channel high-level input. So it gives you an input if, for example, like a Ford Sony system.
Okay.
It has a tweeter output and a mid-range output, as well as the rear and sub. But you would have to use something like an LC-7 or some other summing device in order to get to front-rear sub capability. Well, this amp eliminates the need to do that. It basically has an LC-7i built into it. So what we're going to do today is show you that feature in real time. So let's get to the demo.
There you go.
Okay, so for this first demonstration, we're going to concentrate on channels 1 and 2. And what we have hooked up is we have a tweeter and a mid-range hooked up into the high-level portion of the amplifier. Right here we see the tweeter. Now we see the mid-range. This is the output. So what we want to do is combine the two and get a semi-flat response over here. So we'll go back to the tweeter. Now, on the amplifier, you have what's called front high input. That's this guy right here. What this is going to give us the ability to do is mix the summing with this channel. So as we turn this up, you'll notice over here, the tweeter starts to appear. So this allows us to work in the tweeter to how we want it to sound. So obviously you'd be doing this with your ear. As you turn this up, as you turn it down, you can hear the effect of the tweeter mixing with the mid-range and hopefully get the response you're looking for. Now, the front channels on this come high pass. It's a 30 to 300 hertz high pass crossover, so we can go ahead and start turning that up, reducing the amount of bass that's going to get to our mid-range. So that's about 100 hertz. And if you can hear it, it clicks every time you turn the dial. Now, you have the gain. You can come over here and start adjusting the gain. Now, this has gain maximize built into it. It has the MILC source clip input circuit, which as we turn the volume up on the radio, we want to make sure that light doesn't come on. As you can see, it's not on now, which is good. We want to make sure this light doesn't come on. If we turn the gain up too high, we have clipping on the output side. So we want to turn that back down until that goes away. And now what we've done is we've maximized the output gain on the amplifier so that we're getting the most amount of sound out of this as possible. If we need to, we can always go back and turn up or down that tweeter to help the summing mix out a little bit. Okay, so what we want to do now is, because we're running at 4-channel, we have the rear input, we have the rear output. We want to come over here and we want to come to the crossover. We want to, default is high pass. You basically have high pass or low pass. There is no off. The front is default high pass. There is no other choice. So what we want to do now is start turning up that crossover until we get it where we want it. Let's say we're going to do 100 hertz again. Then we can start turning up that gain. So if we go crazy, it'll clip. Start turning it back, and there you go. So now we've maximized the rear output. So this would be installation choice number 1. Now, this still has AccuBass. And the cool thing about this amp is this has the RCAs. It has the front, rear, as well as the high-level front and rear inputs. We're using the high-level. It also has this line output here. And as long as we haven't turned on the AccuBass ARC1 here, or the AccuBass ARC1 here, it's going to feed that AccuBase out that line out. So now we can come out of that, go to our sub-amp, and still retain the AccuBase bass restoration circuit. Alright, so that's scenario number 1, where we just do a basic 4-channel amp install into a 6-channel stereo. Pretty sweet. Now, the nice thing about this amp is it'll also do 3-channel mode. So we'll go ahead and show you a quick demo on 3-channel mode. Now, the input 1 channel is pretty much going to be the same as we showed you, if you're trying to do a high-pass mix or anything like that. So what we really want to talk about is channels 3 and 4. So we want to come over here, and we want to turn on, we want to enable the AccuBase ARC. We'll turn the gain back down. Now we can come over here, and what this does is this parallels the AccuBase circuit with channels 3 and 4. We get the crossover. Now we want to make sure we put that on low pass. So now we can adjust the crossover. You see the sine wave shifted, so we'll put it back high pass. Low pass. So now we can adjust that crossover. Let's set it down to 70 Hertz for right now. We can start adjusting that gain. Okay, down a little bit, down a little bit. Okay, there you go. Turn that down for right now. Okay, so we've maximized the gain output on the amplifier. Now what we want to do is roll in AccuBase. So you basically want to set your level about halfway and turn the volume up to where you think you hear a drop off in bass. And once you get there, you want to start rolling the threshold up to that point, okay, so that you start to hear the bass come back in. And then you can adjust the level to compensate, to increase or decrease. You're never going to decrease, though. Who does that? So if you look over here, as we increase the level, we get more bass. If we turn the volume down, okay, so we want to turn it up, turn it up. We can adjust the threshold, turn the threshold down a little bit, keep turning it up. So, let's turn the level down a little. So there we go, we have the AccuBase on. So what you should do is as you turn the volume up, it should be a nice smooth transition from low volume to high volume without any drop off in the bass area. And as you can see, this was our starting signal, and the AccuBase has definitely added a lot of improvement to that low end signal. So there you have it. You have 2 different ways to use this amplifier. There's a ton of them. This amplifier is very versatile. It's almost like a Swiss Army knife of amplifiers. We just wanted to show you 2 that we feel are going to be 2 of the most important, because everyone likes to do that nice 3-way setup where you have maybe a 10 set of components up front, nice 4-channel amp to power them, or they're going to do the situation where they're going to have a front and a rear, and they need to fix, need to add in that tweeter, that factory tweeter, so they don't lose any high frequency on the front end, and then go out to a sub amp. So, sub-amp. Hey, they got 2 of them. Cool. Alright, guys.
Thank you for watching. You guys can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
And as usual, we appreciate you watching. We greatly appreciate it if you subscribe. That brings us to the end. Alright. Yeah, whatever. See you later. Bye, guys. Have a great night. Bye.